Hello, Scorpio. Thank you very much for tuning in to this week's read. For the main part of the read, I'm using the Gilded Tarot by Ciro Marchetti. There is a companion book by Barbara Moore. I'm not going to use it, but it's there in case you're interested. It's a 2004 item. Llewellyn.com. If I can get it close enough, I'm sure you can see it. Just freeze the frame if you want that information. I mean, 2004, but still. I do believe they're still operating. Supportive Oracle Cards. Wisdom of the Hidden Realms by Colette Baron Reed. There's websites. Like, there's a lot of them. There's ColetteBaronReed.com, if I get it close enough. So just freeze frame on this once it focuses, and then there's like a bunch of websites you can search out if you feel the need or would like to. DeviantArt.com, if I can get this one close enough. So just, if I can move my finger. Is there more under there? Probably. So there we go. Just freeze frame there if you want to search out that information. Enjoy as you will. I just want to make sure I put out the information that way, try to give credit to the artists and all that other good stuff. Alright, Scorpio. What's going on around you here? You're going to make out. You're going to do fine. I'm not worried about you. But what are you dealing with? What are you dealing with? You're giving somebody a chance. Is somebody just... No. What's going on? Alright, so judgment is happening to somebody else. There's like layers here. Now, Scorpio's seeing through the layers. I kind of feel like you're going to see through the layers, but they're going to be out of order. Like, the information's going to kind of trickle into you. I just feel like it's going to trickle in out of order. You know what I mean? Like, if you're looking at a full day, you'll know it happened at noon, and then 9 o'clock at night, and then at like 5 o'clock, and then at 6 o'clock in the morning. Like, it'll all just kind of filter in some weird fashion, and you're like, oh, okay, now the rest of this makes sense. Over time, you're definitely going to get the information. It's just trickling in. I think somebody's trying to hold it back. Like, they don't want you to know what they've been up to or something. Somebody's kind of trying to hold it back. Kind of like, yeah, I kind of did that, but Scorpio doesn't really need to know that, do they? I don't know. Something like that. You're going to find it out anyway. And I see, like, you're not really... I don't know. You're kind of handling it. You're helping... I feel like what you're more... See, there's going to be some disappointment, but it's more about, I'm hoping... I'm not so upset about what they did. I'm hoping they're figuring out not to do that again. You know what I mean? Like, kind of like when somebody hits the same speed trap 3 times. You're like, at some point, can you figure out that you shouldn't be speeding? At least not in that spot. Like, same speed trap 3 times. Like, maybe not there. Maybe we just don't do that like that anymore. Maybe we just stop speeding altogether. Or at the very least that spot. Something. Just saying. And I feel like they're not. They're like the 4th time, the 5th time, you're like, seriously? Like, really? Like, seriously? Yeah, I feel like I'm just kind of disappointed. Whatever it is, it feels like that keeps going. Because I feel like it's almost like they're trying to beat the system. They're trying to beat the system, but I feel like you're looking at it like it's not about beating the system. It's like realizing that that's not going to work and stop it. And that's how you're looking at it. From your side, it's kind of like, no, that's not going to work, so stop doing that. And they keep coming at it like, I just got to do it differently, or maybe if I do it this way, or maybe it's kind of like, no, just stop doing that. Just stop doing that. Whatever it is. You get along with this energy pretty well, and I feel like you're just kind of rolling with it. Every now and then, especially because I get the King of... Is it the Cups? You are saying how you feel. Don't get caught up in the gender, but it's just kind of like you're saying how you feel. They're like, listen, how many times have you hit that same speed trap? How about you just stop doing that? Well, I forget. Okay. Um, I would try to remember. I just feel like I'm telling them what I'm seeing. I'm telling them what I'm thinking, but I feel like I'm realizing at some point like it's not changing anything. Like I'm still on good terms with this person, but I'm kind of like, come on, you're like, come on, catch on. This isn't working. You're not upset with them per se. Like you're not like it's not like a warring situation. Not like you're like on the outs with them. It's not like that. You're just kind of disappointed that they're not pulling it together, and you're trying to help them find better ways to figure it out. Like, so what's going on when you're speeding in that same spot? Well, I get jamming to the music, and you're like, hey, well, maybe either don't listen to music anymore during your drive. I can't do that. It's boring. Well, maybe listen to some slower music. No, it doesn't wake me up. Okay. It's kind of like, okay. Do you have cruise control? Could you set your cruise control? Well, I don't know. It's kind of twisty and twiny. It's hard to do that. Like, oh my goodness. No matter what I do, you keep shutting me down. Then I feel like I'm getting annoyed because I'm giving them a lot of options. I'm trying to give them different ways to handle things. And they're like, oh, I can't do that. Oh, I can't do this. I mean, at some point, I feel like I even might get sarcastic and be like, listen, how about you just save an extra $5,000 and just commit it to parking, commit it to speeding tickets and how much your insurance is going to go up because you keep doing that. Well, I guess if I have to. And you're like, that wasn't actually an option. I was being sarcastic. I was not serious. It's like, I wasn't meaning you should actually do that. It was sarcasm. And they're like, oh, but that's a good idea. You're like, no, it's not. I was being sarcastic. Because I feel like I'm getting frustrated, but I'm trying to make light of it and trying to make a point at the same time. And I'm like, listen, oh my goodness. They just seem to think that they're going to figure it out. They just keep trying to do it a different way. And they're doing the same thing. And they're just trying to like, almost like, fine tune what they're doing. But they're doing something that's not working. This is one of those situations, if we're going to keep using the speeding ticket analogy, the way they're headed, and maybe they just need you to be prepared for it, the way they're heading, it's going to, like, I think in New York anyway, I'm in New York, it could be flat out wrong, but I think it's like you get so many speeding tickets, I think they revoke your license, I think. Or is that when you speed in working zones? I've never had it happen. I don't want it to happen. I'm usually very careful with that stuff. But like, basically they'll speed to the point where finally they get their license revoked and then they have real problems. And then they have to handle it a different way, kind of like, well, if you can't handle the rules of the road, then you just won't drive anymore. It's one of those things. And then they'll have to work to get it back and jump through all the hoops, and like after that, oh, I guess I have to do this differently. And by the time you're kind of be like, well, yeah, I feel like I'm looking at this person like, never had to be that bad. I mean, never had to be that bad. I was trying to tell you, but because they keep trying to just do it differently, but do the same thing. And I do see with the Seven of Cups in the Gaia's Garden, it's kind of like, if they're not going to learn this the easy way, there's always the hard way. There's a bunch of ways. So it's up to them what way this is going to work out. I'm also getting, like, since we keep using the speeding ticket, there's a couple versions of this. Like, they might just get so many tickets that finally they get their license revoked. Or, they might have a little fender bender or something along those lines that just scares the crap out of them, so that they take it more seriously. Like, this is why you shouldn't be speeding on this road, something like that. It's an analogy, of course, but, like, there's a lot of different ways, but I feel like the universe is saying, we'll figure out a way. Don't worry. One way or another, we'll figure out how to show them how, this is not going to work anymore. They're very, this energy is very defiant, I give you that. Very defiant. With the Five of Swords and the King of Pentacles, they're not backing down. Like, stubborn to me is like, it's talking about determination. Stubborn just means it's determination working against you. So, because, determination working for you is like, having staying power, having that, that resilience. When it's working for you, it's resilient. When it's working against you, it's stubborn. That's kind of how I view it anyway, if that made sense. And I feel like they have a really good trait with sticking with something until they make it work. But it's kind of like, it's stubborn when it's like, no, it's not going to work, and you got to kind of back off. I feel like you might have worked with this person in the past with certain stubborn issues, and if you're able to find a way to bridge that connection, kind of like, remember when you were doing this in the past and you kept doing it and kept doing it and kept doing it until it finally got so bad that you just couldn't do it anymore and you realized that that was a bad idea? You're doing that again with this. And I feel like, because I feel like you have this history with this person where you can point that out, like trying to bridge the connection. Like you've done this type of thing before where you wouldn't stop until it got so bad that you had no choice. How about you start thinking about changing it before you get to that point again? I think you have that history with this person, and that might be the advice that you need. If you didn't already know, maybe you already knew that. I don't know. Whatever you're getting from this reading, hopefully something's helping. Because I feel like you're trying to help them bridge the gap. Kind of like, listen, you're gonna like maybe you have to walk through the whole scenario. You just got to start a conversation about the past and how something went through, and just go through this whole scenario. And at the end they'll go, well, I know that, but why did you go through all that? Because now you're doing that with the speeding tickets. You're doing the same thing with a different subject. You are now repeating that whole process with speeding tickets. And because I feel like you're going to drive your point home, and you're going to drive it home well. The Sun Dancers, I do feel like, because this is like a future energy, you're going to make your point. And I feel like this might be actually the point of this reading. You're going to make this point the best way this point can be made. If this other person won't hear it, then they won't hear it. Like, we all have free will, right? And if they were going to listen to somebody, they'd listen to you. I think that's the point. If they were going to listen, you'd have been the one to get through. If they're just not going to do it, they're just not going to do it. So I feel like they're just saying, don't look back at this like, I wish I knew what to say, or what was I supposed to say? Almost like, I didn't find the right piece of the puzzle. That's not the case. It's kind of like, the puzzle just wasn't even, like, it's kind of like the puzzle wasn't even there. This person wasn't even there. They weren't even acknowledging the puzzle, let alone you finding the correct piece to explain it to them. They weren't even acknowledging it. So there's nothing you could do. So I feel like they're saying you're going to make your best point. If this person's going to listen, they're going to listen. If they're not, they're not. They're in control of their own life. So the best way that point can be made, you're doing it. You are doing it. So, because I almost feel like some of you are going to have some guilt about this, as if, what was I supposed to do? I wish I knew what to, I think if I could just figure out what I was supposed to say. You said what you were supposed to say. You did everything you could. You did everything you could. Some of you they're going to listen to. Others of you they're not. I don't know what the mix is there of who's going to be successful with that. But they're just saying, don't beat yourself up over it. You did your best. You gave this person a chance. And that's all you can do. That's all you can do. All right, I think we're there. I'm going to shut this down here. I hope that helps. Thank you for watching. If you'd like a direct reading from me, shoot me an email. jamesforastral@gmail.com. That's James, the number 4. astral@gmail.com. If you're interested in the donation information, that's below as well. Same email. Thank you for watching, and you have a good day.